Hello everyone, and welcome to another beer review at another location. It's getting crazy, isn't it? But yeah, I tried a different location. The last one wasn't so bad, but it was a bit kind of echoey, I thought. So I thought, right, try something different again. Anyway, it makes it interesting. But today, we're on a Scottish ale, because I'm still in Scotland. And this is from Fyne Ales. It's a farm brewery, and it's Highlander Traditional Amber Ale. So there you go. Now, I got this in Sainsbury's in Edinburgh, just because it was in there. I didn't specifically go to Edinburgh to go to the Sainsbury's there. I just happened to be there. So apparently, it says on the back, quite a few things actually. First thing is it's 500ml, 4.8%. So it is. And it says, a nutty caramel malt body with a sweet red fruit notes and a gently bitter finish, apparently. Allegedly. Oh no, they've got some more stuff in the back. Oh dear. Right, anyway. Our first ever recipe in 2001, Highlander's ability to stand the test of time is testament to its quality. Proudly traditional, Highlander is the punchy, bittersweet amber ale that Fyne Ales was built on. Fyne Ales, a family-owned Scottish farm brewery, creating modern, ambitious and progressive beers since 2001. Progressive beers. Seriously, I bet they actually believe that crap. You know, you're brewing a beer. You can either brew a good one or you can brew a bad one. Quite a lot of the breweries that claim to be progressive and brewing progressive beers struggle to actually make a good beer. No, so maybe that's the progressive part, because they're still progressing to try and make a good beer. I don't know. It just doesn't really make sense to me. But anyway, it's 4.8%, 500ml, roughly about £2 a bottle. But again, I'll put all the facts on, you know where, down below in the beer facts. So let's crack it open. Ooh. And I've been a good boy. I haven't had any alcohol for a while. Well, there were some of the beers I've been drinking recently. You can probably see you wouldn't be drinking much alcohol anyway, which is a good point. So yeah, let's get this poured and see what it's like. There we go. Now, for people on the podcast, it's quite a light amber, to the point is maybe a dark gold, almost, maybe a little bit darker than a dark gold. So yeah, it's not a dark amber, it's quite light in colour. The head's quite kind of unimpressive. It's a sliver, really. Smell wise, well, I'm getting hops. The problem is they call it a traditional amber ale, but what makes it tradition? The problem is the water in Scotland is different than down in England. If you're from outside of the UK, you might not know that. So Scotland has very soft water, so there isn't that much minerals and chalk deposits and things like that, and calcium carbonate build up in the water. Down in England, as you go further south from the north, it gets progressively more hard until you get onto the kind of south coast, which you've got the chalky cliffs of Dover and all these type of areas, and of course it's very kind of chalky and very hard down there. And let's be totally honest, hard water, depending on the grade of it, it's actually better for making a lot of beers, especially ales. And really, hard water is very good for doing darker beers like stouts and porters. So again, what actually makes this Scottish? Because right now, when I'm smelling it, it smells more like an English amber ale. I'm getting floral tones with the hops. Is that what makes it progressive? What we'll do is we'll make an English amber ale, and we'll say it's traditional Scottish, and there you go. That's progressive, and we'll make it with Scottish water because that's what we've got up here. What the hell is this? You know what I mean? And I like this traditional. We'll put this: when I was growing up in Scotland, there wasn't any amber ales, so I don't know what the traditional amber ale. There wasn't an amber ales in the 70s, 80s, or 90s. So there was 30 years suddenly gone. So where's this tradition come from? You know what I mean? Jesus, God, I'm not that bloody old. But yeah, bit of malt, quite floral. Maybe a little hint of citrus, but mostly kind of just the floral notes of the hops. And again, not really much malt. So there you go. So let's see what it tastes like. First impression, watery. Yeah, there's a reason why I wasn't smelling much malt. Because it's for the very same reason I'm not actually tasting much malt. What the hell did they say it was malty? Nutty caramel malt body. Jesus God, here we go again. No, I wouldn't say it's malty. Maybe a hint of caramel. There isn't really any sweetness. And I'll be totally honest, there is a bit of bitterness at the end, but this beer is all about the hops really rather than the malt, which is disappointing because it's kind of imbalanced that way. And the imbalance is showing itself as being more a lack of body and a bit watery in the body. And that's one of the standout things. And there's your imbalance. I mean, I've got no problems with the hops, and the hops are doing their job and doing them quite well. And it's giving us some nice flavour tones and a nice bit of bitterness at the end. But you forgot about the front end. You forgot about the body that's provided by the malt at the front end and especially in the mid-tongue. And yeah, your beer's lacking because of it. I mean, it's okay, but yeah, it's lacking the body. So, which is strange because when they're putting all that guff, I mean, maybe that's why they realise, maybe they taste it because it's lacking body and that. What we'll do is we'll say it's really multi-body in the fucking label and the edits will believe it, even if they don't taste it. Is that it? Is it kind of codology? No, honestly, really, why would you put that? Seriously. If they've tasted the beer, why would you put that on the label? It's just stupid, it really is. You know, God, sometimes I absolutely hate this fucking industry, I really do. It's bullshit after fucking bullshit sometimes, and you just think, you're going to fucking stop it. Seriously. Give it a fucking rest. Either tell the truth or just shut the fuck up. I mean, that's what it feels like sometimes. I mean, it really does. This world, it's all fucking bullshit and lies. It really is. You can't even relax with a nice beer without getting the bullshit and the lies. Eh? Turn on the television to relax. You know, the mainstream media telling you all bullshit and lies. Jesus God. Then you go into YouTube and you have somebody that says, hey, look at that. I spent £5, spent 2 weeks on a big fancy house. You lying bastard. Anyway, just that's what the world is now. It's all basically blowhards and liars. It's unbelievable. Even your politicians, don't get me started on politicians. There's quite a lot of elections coming up. Obviously, from my connection with Russia, you've got the Russian presidential election, which is all bullshit and lies and just one big con. because it's not an election, because it's not a democracy. So there you go, you got that lot of crap. Then, of course, you're going to have the US elections at some point this year. And, of course, that's all going to be politicians lying and talking bullshit because they never deliver what they actually say. And then in the UK, we're going to have a general election. And guess what? Who do you vote for? Do I vote for the liars who basically stand behind the red banner? Or do I vote for the liars that stand behind the blue banner? You know, or should I vote for the liars around between that basically, well, we'll jump into bed with anybody and lie along with them, just as long as you give us some sort of attention under the yellow banner. So yeah, you're sitting there thinking, I might as well wipe my arse with a ballot form because that's probably the best thing I could get out of it, is a free wipe. Because really, it's just a waste of time, seriously. Absolutely. Not just lying and cheating and everything else, it's unbelievable. So yeah, elections, democracies. What they don't say about democracy is one of the big things they always leave out is the problem with democracy is you don't always get what you want. And we're now at the stage now is all the options aren't going to give you what you want, but you have to vote for them. There you go. None of these parties are actually going to deliver what you want or what you need. But what we want you to do is to vote for one of them. Even though you're not going to get anything you need or want from any of them. You see, they don't put that in their policies. They don't put that in their manifesto pamphlets and everything else. That, yeah, democracy. Load of bollocks, you know. A bit like this. Yeah. Well, there's not really much I can say. Jesus, I was talking about bloody politics and God knows what else. That just shows you there's not really much to say about the beer. So I'll quickly break down the flavours and we'll give it a score. Starts off, you get a little bit of malt, a bit of grain, a little bit of sweetness, not much. But the problem is there's a bit of malt there, and there's a little hint of caramel. There's just a little hint of caramel at the front of the mouth. You think, well, here we go. It's going to kind of ramp up as it goes on to the mid-tongue. It'll settle down, and have a good kind of malty background. No, that's as good as it gets. Starts moving into the mid-tongue, and yeah, the malt basically just pisses off. It's like, well, I've done my appearance, I'm out here. So you're left with this kind of slightly detached kind of caramel accent in the mid-tongue, just as it comes into the mid-tongue. And that's when you start getting the hops coming through. So you've got this kind of slightly kind of unconnected, disjointed, slightly kind of caramel accent, and then you've got all these floral, hoppy flavours coming over, and a very kind of light sweetness. And that's it. And it just feels very watery and hoppy. And then it goes from there. I mean, it doesn't get any better right through the mid-tongue. It just actually slightly gets worse as the hops ramp up. It just kind of highlights the lack of malt even more. Moves on to the kind of aftertaste. As usual, these type of kind of hops, the floralness starts to kind of blend into a more kind of bitter edge as it's transferring from the mid-tongue to the aftertaste in the back of the mouth. And it's just slightly kind of ramps up a bit and just gives you a nice kind of bitter finish. Usually because, again, is that sweetness is what's left of it there is kind of dissipated at this point, and it just gives that little kind of boost to the bitterness edge. And it's actually quite a nice, pleasant finish from the hops. But yeah, lacking malt, lacking body, and overall just lacking character. So there you go. Marks out of 10. What would I give it? Well, if you like a watery, hoppy drink, then this is up your street. If you like a taste of a more kind of traditional ale or beer, then you're going to be a bit disappointed with this. And if you're more like into the hops, then great. But the problem is the hops still need the malt to support it, and the malt just isn't there. And it's just, yeah, just has that feeling of completely lacking and completely unbalanced. So, out of 10, what would I give that? 4. Yeah, below average. And yeah, it's all to do with the lack of malt. Nutty flavour, God knows what you get. Your nutty flavour is the same as your bloody malt, non-existent. So there you go. So it's a 4 out of 10, 500ml bottle, 4.8%. Would I recommend it? No. Would I buy it again? No. Do I think the flavour profiles listed in the back of the bottle is actually what you taste? No, I don't. It's just a joke, to be totally honest. So, anyway, 500ml bottle, 4.8%, roughly about £2. I wouldn't recommend it. Thanks for watching. Cheers. Bye for now.